Yeah, no, this is Ivor, and from New Optimal World,
Yes.
and LimitLessNOW,
Yes.
and dramatic
And
things.
World Enlightainment.
World Enlightainment, yes.
And involved with a large number of other projects.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about a few things in the next few minutes. You'll be able to watch these videos on the internet for free, and then some other things you'll be able to get for a fee. And then as a VIP, a very integrative person who's been with us for more than a few days, like a week or more, that's them getting the restaurant ready for Christmas dinner tonight. For those who don't know, today is Friday the 2nd of December. We're filming at the Watermark, which is watermark-bar.co.uk.com, and we're filming in Port Solent, PortSolent.com, and that's watermark-bar.com. And so we're down in the south coast of England near Portsmouth. Richard's come over from Amsterdam to do this little interview.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about the 5 elements. We call them the low 5 and the high 5. So this is the low 5, this is the high 5, and they match like this. And once you've got them down, you can do this, and you can relax and release and move them into any configuration you can imagine. But you've got to get all 10 elements, low 5 and high 5, handled to be able to get into the metaphysical 5, which is the third 5.
Okay, so what's the first one?
First one is New Optimal World. Now, as you just called it. Now is basically the only time there really is now.
Yeah.
And most people are, worrying about something that didn't happen in the past or future, or frightened about something that did.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're really not present in the now, right here, right now.
Yeah.
No past, no future, no problem. Okay? Being really here now, fresh and new in every moment, listening from fresh and new, being fresh and new, giving others the space to be fresh and new in every moment. That means inconsistent. Mm-hmm. That means unpredictable. That means uncontrollable.
Sounds like you.
Exactly. So the key is that most human beings have had their freedom of self-expression suppressed. They've been entrained and entrapped into patterns of behavior and belief that do not serve them. And what we're about is unentraining and unentrapping and freeing up the creativity, the consciousness, and the exchange between creative and conscious beings. Self-referral, self-aware, self-responsible behavior. So what we are doing, what New Optimal World is about, is it's a context for how collectively and collaboratively, in communities, small, medium, and large, we recalibrate the systems of the earth, starting with economics. We re-educate the people of the earth, starting with those of you that opt into our membership program down here, or over there on the side of the video. And when you opt in, from the moment you opt in, you get points. These points are equivalent to pounds sterling.
Okay.
So we have an internal currency. In our world, you have abundance and prosperity, and you're millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire in training. On the outside, you may or may not be broke. You may or may not be in a just over broke job, which should be called JUB, just under broke, because usually the money runs out way before the month does, or before the 2 weeks does. So we've developed an environment which is all about thrival. So instead of surviving, thriving. Instead of enduring the journey of life, enjoying the journey of life. And so we've developed a method for you to dress rehearse inside of our safe, sacred space and community, and then do what works in our world out in the world. And because we're a huge number of people, millions and millions of people now, the movie Thrive, which was released Friday 11/11/11, has had it's had a large number of millions of downloads. I don't know what it'll be by the time you watch.
Yeah.
But millions of people have watched it, paid $5 to play it forward or pay it forward for 48 hours, as much as you want, or have bought for $10 or more the DVD or the Blu-ray. So what I want you to understand is you'll be able to watch the movie Limitless if you haven't already, and then the movie, which is already out, Thrive, which tells you a teaser trailer about what we're going to deliver over the next 10 years, which we call The Decade That Made The Difference.com.
Okay.
The Decade That Made The Difference.com.
And
that's the context of 2012 to 2022. These are the years that turned the species around, that made us live in peace and prosperity eternally on this planet. I know that's idealistic and utopian for some of you, but it really isn't. If you know how to be peaceful for a second, just choose what is. The moment you choose anything other than what is, you just gave away or threw away your peace.
Right, yeah.
There's another way to be peaceful, it's rest in peace. When you're dead in a graveyard, You don't got your problems anymore. You don't got your stress anymore. You don't got your relationships anymore.
Yeah.
But there's ways while you're alive to be stressless, to actually stop your mind and be mindful but empty mind. No thinking going on. Just pure presence.
But this sounds... it sounds like a spiritual concept you're talking about.
It's more than a spiritual concept, but it starts with the metaphysical, which causes the physical.
Okay.
Everything starts on the inner, like an idea of your parents or your grandparents saying, when I grow up I want to get married and have a couple of kids. And then you become the physical form of that idea.
Right.
They literally bring you into form. First as an idea, information.
Yeah.
And then, as they focus on and in the formation of information, it becomes more and more into focus and then into form. And you start as a little egg and sperm, you know, there's 12 sperm cling to the side of the egg, which breaks the surface tension, the 13th can drill in, divide the egg into 2, 4, and 8. Those 8 never replace each other. Those are the blueprint for the rest of that embodiment. Those 8 cells are still in your being, right in front of your tailbone, about 1.5 inches in front of your tailbone.
Yeah.
What they call the kundalini in the East. That's where it is. Those 8 cells spark to the bottom of the spine, up the spine, through the corpus callosum, all 8 sections of the brain come back and stimulate the whole cellular system, what some people call a full body orgasm or cellular orgasm, and other people call other things. But basically, it's a natural way that the body's designed. So a bit like a computer has a boot up program, your boot up programs are in those 8 cells.
Okay.
But most people over time have replications and duplications of copies of copies of copies of mutated and damaged and destructive or distorted or toxic and turgid cells, that instead of the fluid dynamics of their body being 18.5 gallons of ocean water with some bones and organs floating around in it, the water gets stagnant, which you know what happens in stagnant water. And because the things that are stuck can get in but not out, you start to fill up with toxins and eventually you disassemble and die.
Okay.
What we've developed is youthing, the art and science of growing younger, which there's a movie coming out about in 2012. And a movement that's people who've opted into experiencing what they heard about or read about or shared about in the movie. So there's a movement with every movie. Limitless, the movie, was released on the 18th of March of 2011 worldwide in all movie theaters, and then 6 months later on DVD. Robert De Niro, Bradley Cooper, and Abby Cornish. It was about a man who swallowed a clear pill and accessed his full potential, 100% of his mind and his creativity, and then figured out, having done that, how to do it without needing his mind, without needing his pills. We start off the movement where the movie left off. So Limitless Now is the movement of how without drug, surgery, or medication, you can actually be limitless now. And you learn to meet with and collaborate with other members of the movement. It's free on the phone, the web, and in the world. And if you want to, at some point in the future, you can move to the next layer and level of our game, which allows you to, for a fee, be mentored, trained, coached, developed, integrated, and shared with by other people who've been with us longer. You think of it like you're coming into a library, but you don't know the librarian or the index cards and system. You basically are figuring out how to find your way around the library, find what you're looking for, have somebody recommend something to you, and then learn that or engage with that person, place, or thing. So we show you around the library. A mentor basically is like a librarian. And then a master owns several libraries and is showing you how to get from one library to the next and use them all as you're traveling around the world. To end this one, if you want to opt in, just go to LimitLessNOW.com, LimitLessNOW.com, or newoptimalworld.me, newoptimalworld.me.